Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I wanted to do a full face of my current drugstore makeup favorites. A lot of these products I feel like I haven't really talked about in depth on camera before. Some of them you've seen, but most of them are more recent favorites, and I feel like I've been dabbling in the drugstore more just because I felt like for a really long time I was just like indie makeup, small brands, and I feel like that's where my heart still is. But that doesn't mean I can't buy drugstore makeup and incorporate it. It's definitely more affordable, more accessible, and there's some really amazing products out there. And I actually do have one thing here to mention that is from a small brand that is also available in the drugstore or at Target if we're being technical. Anyways, let's just go ahead and jump on in because I do want to apply some SPF and kind of let it soak down for a moment. So this has been such a favorite for me. I feel like it's been a while since I tried a product and I was just like, damn, that is so good. So this is the e.l.f. Skin Sun Touchable Wow Glow 30 Broad Spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen, and it is in the shade Sunbeam. I'm not sure if they have other shades, but it's just a sunscreen with a tint to it, and it is so beautiful on the skin, especially if you're not wanting to wear any other makeup. I think it's stunning. So I'm gonna go in with a big old goop. I think I did use this in a video not that long ago, maybe this week. I feel like I didn't give it like its full praise because I'm obsessed, and I actually saw someone on TikTok. If I can find the video, I will link it down below for y'all, but she showed this sunscreen under like a UV light so it can see how much it's covering your face, and it actually did a really good job. It was cool to see, so I feel like it's just winning in every aspect, and it's $14. Like, the sunscreen that used to be my holy grail was like $35, and it was really good. I mean, for a product that you use every single day, no matter what, that can get expensive. So let's let that soak in for a second, and I'll get on my little soapbox because I do need to let y'all know that I don't have a drugstore eyeshadow palette favorite. I was looking and everything else I have here came really organically. Like, it's just stuff that I've been using without even thinking about it. So it was easy to pull out. And then I sat here and I was just like, what about eyeshadow? I really don't want this to come off as snobby. It's just my own honest experience, but I feel like between all of the indie eyeshadow palettes I have and all of the high-end eyeshadow palettes I have, the drugstore ones I've tried just have not held up. I do feel like Profusion is good, but overall, I just ended up decluttering pretty much every drugstore palette I've ever gotten. So I was like scratching my head a little bit. I was like, do I do no eyeshadow, or can I pull out my favorite like affordable eyeshadow brand and you guys won't roast me because I know it's not technically available at the drugstore? So I feel like when it comes to more affordable eyeshadow palettes, I would have to go with ColourPop. Don't get me wrong, their palettes are hit and miss. There's some that I've tried and I really did not like, and then there's some I've tried that I have loved and adored, and that's how I feel about Stone Cold Fox. This is like my forever favorite palette from ColourPop if you love cool tones. Again, no one roasts me, and if you have to roast me, at least leave a recommendation for like the best drugstore palette you've ever tried, or let me know if you're kind of in the same boat where you just don't really look for eyeshadow at the drugstore, because I feel like when it comes to anything else, blush, mascara, concealer, foundation, like powders, bronzers, I'm all about it. I'll try anything, but when it comes to eyeshadows, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not tempted. So I feel like we let that soak in for a minute. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. I recently tried this Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. This is the shade Fair Pale, and it says it's a lightweight perfector, delivers hydrating benefits in a buildable sheer to medium tint for a flawless, soft, luminous complexion. I don't know that I would call this a tint, or maybe I'm just using too much product, but I feel like personally when I use it, that it looks like a foundation and it looks really pretty. It is hydrating, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do like about that much. Maybe that's why. Maybe I should like actually use like a tiny little bit and try it out as a tint. But I guess I would agree that it is definitely buildable because I've been using it as a foundation and I really love it. So just gonna go ahead and throw that on. I feel like the color is really nice. It's like, I think it's like $5, you know, Wet n Wild, super affordable. And it has like a pretty glow to it. I've used it with a brush, I've used it with a sponge. I like it either way, don't really have a preference. Oh, and I'm using the Shop Miss A Paw sponge, which is so affordable and so good, so soft. It's just my favorite. I feel like the reason this has been standing out as a favorite for me is just because it's one of those like really effortless products. It looks good on the skin. It's dewy, it adds a little bit of coverage, it doesn't make my skin look cakey. That's the kind of thing I've been reaching for recently, like just something that does what I need it to do and it does it easily and quickly without any fuss. That's been my MO. Next is the Thread Cover It Multi-Use Complexion Fluid in the shade Fair Neutral 01 from Thread Beauty. I feel like when I tried this, I didn't necessarily have any expectations because I hadn't seen anyone talk about it yet. I just saw that it was new at Target. It was a smaller business getting like a little tiny display, and I saw someone post about it on TikTok, but they didn't actually review the product, so I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, I went because, you know, any excuse to go to Target and Starbucks, but I went, I picked out my shades and sat down to film with it, and I love this concealer. It is so beautiful. So it's definitely one of those that has like a big old wand, and it is $8. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place that right here. Like oxidizes on the skin, but then when I blend it out, it looks lighter. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea, but it has like a good amount of coverage, but it also has a really pretty dewy finish, and I just love that. I've used it again with a sponge and with a brush. The brush I use is the Anisa Beauty Concealer Brush, and that gives more coverage for sure. The sponge, when wet, gives a little bit more of a dewy finish, but like I think that's beautiful. It just has that like luminescence to the skin. It looks so natural. Like one of the things I've noticed that I don't really love is when I'm wearing a really glowy foundation and then my under eyes are super matte. I've been reaching more for concealers that I feel like match the finish and kind of just like flow, and my skin doesn't look like it's like broken up into pieces. I feel like if you see their display in Target and you're just looking to try a new brand, try a new product, I definitely recommend the concealer. They also came out with a foundation, which is good. I like it, but I'm not like blown away. If I had to recommend one thing, it'd be this. And also they do say that you can use this as a foundation, but I haven't tried it like that yet. Well, I don't have any bronzer or highlighter, but I do have a blush, and sometimes I like to go in with just a blush, and I'm happy with that, and that's all I need to feel like my face is more put together. So I've been really liking this e.l.f. Putty Blush, and the shade is Blush Pate. I'm probably butchering that, but it is just a really pretty pink. You know, I've been obsessed with these kind of pinky blushes. I saw the display at Ulta had like the color of this, but they didn't have any more to buy. And I was like, ooh, that's like the perfect pink. So the next time I was at Walmart, I was like running over to the e.l.f. section. I grabbed it right away. It is $7. So I feel like e.l.f.'s prices just like keep rising. But I don't know that I'm mad at it because I feel like they're also making really high quality products. Like I would rather pay a little bit more for a blush and it not be like $1 like they used to be, or $3 like they used to be, if it's really, really high quality. It's still more affordable than other things at the drugstore, but I just went ahead and grabbed some of that on my finger. You can see it has a really beautiful glow to it. It's just such a pretty like Barbie hot pink. So just gonna tap it on, kind of in the area I want it, just spreading it out, and then we can blend that in. It's just such a pretty soft pink flush. And then you know what, I might even go in with a powder blush on top of that just to make it extra intense, make it last a little longer. And we can talk about another drugstore favorite, which is the ColourPop blush in the shade Prairie Air. This one is available in person at Ulta. That's actually where I purchased mine. I have been loving it since then too, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pick a little bit up with a brush and just tap that over top. I really like Prairie Air because I feel like it gives that like soft pink without being too intense, and it just like blends in really easily, and it's just like a very effortless everyday blush. Also, you guys should let me know if you like my lighting right now. I actually opened up my blinds and let in some natural light along with all my studio lights. It is very, very bright in here. I don't normally open my blinds even though I film in front of a window because I don't want people to like see me like filming and like see me talking to myself. Is that stupid? Like I'm like filming this like hoping that a lot of people will see it and click on it and want to watch, but then when it comes to like someone like driving by my house, I'm like, please don't look at me. But I opened it today, so let me know, is it worth keeping the blinds open? Can you see a difference? I actually do have a drugstore favorite for my brows. It's the Essence Brow Gel. And I brought it on my trip with me and now I can't find it. So I'm not able to show you today, but it's definitely a really quick, easy brow product that I've been enjoying. I know I've talked about it like a million times on my channel throughout the years. So I did go ahead and grab my Milani eyeshadow primer. It's a really good one. I would say if you're looking for an affordable primer, I really like this one. I also like the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer, which I saw they had it on sale for like $4. And I was like, wow, that's amazing because it's a really good one. I actually have like 3 backups of that because every time they send a new eyeshadow palette, they send that primer, and I've actually given some of them away as well. But I still cannot stop hoarding them apparently. I'm thinking I want to be like conscious to use something that goes with the lipstick I want to use, which we'll get to in a minute, but it's kind of like a peachy nude. So maybe I'll kind of like stick just like neutral browns to go best. I think I'm gonna start off with this shade right here called Enigma. And I'm just gonna pop that through my entire crease just for a really soft transition. And I'm honestly applying it kind of sloppy. It's just gonna be a soft everyday moment for me. I actually need to go. My son is starting at a new pediatrician and they asked me to come a week early and like fill out some paperwork. And I don't know why I'm anxious about it. I don't know, I always get anxious about like doctor's appointments in like any aspect, and it's just like I never had a bad experience growing up, I don't think, like going to the doctor, but just for some reason that really triggers my anxiety. So I'm like trying to like pump myself up to go do that today because I either need to do it today or tomorrow. So I'm like, let me just get it over with. Okay, I think next I'm gonna go into this brown right here, which is called Ghost Town, on that same brush, but this time I'm gonna focus it just on the outer V. Why did I say it like that? It sounds like I'm about to cry. The outer V. Okay, just kind of laying that down and then blending it inwards a little bit. I'm also gonna take that with a smudgy brush and just throw it along the entire lower lash line. I'm gonna take this like taupey shimmer shade right here called Baby Doll and just throw that on the lid to complete the look. Actually, I don't know who I am. I also need to add something on the inner corner or else I'll feel naked. I'm just gonna take a touch of this white right here called Dreamful and just pop that on the inner corner just to add a little bit of brightness. So for mascara, I'm gonna go into the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. I really do like the way this looks on the lashes. It's a hesitant favorite. Like I have a love-hate relationship with it because it looks so pretty. It really does build up nice. It has like a super rich black color to it, which I really appreciate, but it is very hard to take off your lashes at the end of the night, so I would just keep that in mind. I normally only reach for this mascara when I know that I'm gonna be wearing my makeup all day long and it's gonna like get its full day of wear, because sometimes I do my makeup and I don't wear it that long or end up washing it off right away, just depending, and I would never reach for this mascara for a day like that. So last but not least, I know I've mentioned this a few times, this is the Glow Paradise Beige Eden lipstick from L'Oreal, and I've really been loving this just because it's one of those like very glossy lipsticks, super comfortable, such a pretty finish. I actually really want to get more shades because I love it so much. It's like a perfect Your Lips But Better lipstick for me. All right, y'all, this is the finished look with all of my current drugstore favorites. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any recommendations for me, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.